Nike is back on ABC, people. How awesome is that? Welcome back to the New Year's Eve celebrations here at Sydney Harbour. There's 1 million or so people all around Sydney Harbour here with me, ready to party like it's 1979, with Jimmy Barnes, Phil Jamieson, Montaigne, Isaiah, and loads more about to rock the Sydney Opera House with some of the biggest hits of Countdown. And don't forget that the entire show's beamed right around the world on ABC TV, Facebook and YouTube, as well as iView and local ABC radio stations. Now, if you've ever had to host a party for over 1 million people, you'd know that it takes a bit of planning. And there's a huge team responsible for putting tonight together, hundreds and hundreds of people working seamlessly just so that I can take all of their labour completely for granted with cheap stunts like this. Bridge lights on. Bridge lights off. Bridge lights on. Bridge lights off. You should probably roll the package because I'll do this all night. Bridge lights on. Yeah.
Light for me it's like paint. I paint with light. I see light as the creator of mood. I'm Ziggy Ziegler, the lighting designer for Sydney New Year's Eve 2017. On my way to be a marine biologist, trying to save the reef, and I saw the beautiful colours and the expressive moods created on the reef, and that enticed me to look more into colour and lighting. I love bright colours. They make me feel happy. They make people around me feel happy. It inspires better creative ideas. At the beginning of the year, not far after we finished the previous one, the creative teams look at possible moods for the next year. A little while later, an artist is brought on board with a totally new overall feel. This year we have Nadia Hernandez, who's got some beautiful, bright pastel colours which influenced the whole project this year.
My name's Nadia Hernandez, and I'm the lead artist for this year's New Year's Eve celebrations. I'm originally from Mérida, Venezuela, in South America. So for me, retaining a connection to my culture is very important. A way for me to do that is through my work. The brief for New Year's Eve was essentially to capture the feeling of the city around summertime and that sense of wonder, that sense of possibility and beauty that comes from that time of the year. Usually I start with a sketch, but then that translates into a very colorful paper construction. As soon as you cut out a piece of paper in a color, you immediately have the potential for a beautiful composition. After I've created the paper construction, I photograph that image and I translate it into a computer illustration, which means that it can be enlarged, you can change the composition, you can change the colors. It just allows more flexibility. There's something really humble about working with paper and starting from such a small scale and seeing how that will be projected as animations onto the Harbour Bridge. That can just come from a piece of paper. Ultimately, for me, New Year's is about coming together with the people you love and just being excited about a fresh start.
My name's Fortunato Foti, creative director and designer of Foti International Fireworks. It's a family tradition. And I'm 7th generation in fireworks, so it started back in Italy and we dated back to around 1793. When we first started doing fireworks, back in the 70s, 80s, we were producing up to 10 million sparklers, 2 million bottle rockets, millions of bungers and all the other pretty fireworks that we used to make, the Castrol Merles and the jumping jacks. Everything was lit by hand. So you'd run around with a flare and light all the fireworks individually, one at a time. So, you know, with the introduction of computer age, where you can fire up to 100 shots a second with a system that we've got. Fireworks, it's a science as well as an art. You need the science, obviously, because of the different chemicals that you use and the combinations of chemicals that you need to mix together to make the colours and effects that you want to make. The art is in the final part where you display the fireworks, choreographed to the music soundtrack. There's a bit of a work involved. We're on site for 10 days, 50 people getting it all ready from all the locations. And I think we worked out it's about 12 to 15,000 individual firing cues. So that's 12 to 15,000 individual plugins that we have to do in correct order for the show. So there is a lot of manual labour involved. I've been fortunate enough to be where I am today because of what I've learnt from my father and my grandfather.
Fortune and I work together with the fireworks and the lighting. He has to create all those fireworks, and he's decided to pick a lot of the bright pastels from Nadia's colour palette and emulate that in the fireworks. I would then do some of my lighting to complement that. We have a Grand MA visualizer. It allows us to visualise the lighting in real time in 3D. You can actually see the lights changing colour. You can see the beams. You have the harbour bridge there, the harbour. You get to see all the reflections, all the different colours and refraction in 3D. 5 years ago, we would have used almost 4 times as much power to generate the same or even a bit less light. So we're now using 1/3 to 1/4 of what we used to use. I've always loved doing this sort of thing. I'm terrible at a 9-to-5 job, but I'm really good at this. Just playing with light makes me happy.
It is an enormous effort. It's taken 15 months to make this show happen, and that is on top of the 5 hours it takes to do my hair. It's a staggering effort from everyone involved. Now,